Hey guys, we're at the Big 3 media event in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I'm here with Bob Faxon. How you doing, Bob?
I'm great, thank you.
So you guys have asked me a lot of questions in the past about firearms like the ARAK, and honestly, I've not had much experience with them. So I met Bob at ARAK's event just last weekend and took a look at some of their firearms, was really intrigued by what I had seen. I've read really good reviews about your barrels. I've seen a lot of stuff going around on social media about your firearms. I was surprised to see the new AR-15, but could you tell us a little bit about the company and then kind of walk us through what you guys do?
Absolutely. Faxon Firearms started out in the firearms business by just trying to do things a little different than most people, and you hear that a lot. That's not an uncommon statement. So to get into the industry, the first effort was to start out with an ARAK 21, which was really a total redesign of the AR-15 upper, yet we still maintain the ability to put it on a standard mil-spec AR-15 lower. But the advantages of an AK and the advantages of an AR didn't seem to ever be blended really well together. So what we did was say, we'll take a shot at it because both guns have some very strong features. So instead of being biased, we blended them, and that was the result, was an ARAK 21. So Faxon Firearms started out with an ARAK 21 upper receiver about 3 years ago. It shot. The first one wasn't quite production ready, and we didn't have a website or anything else at that point. So in about 3 years, we've been working through these processes and evolutions. We have 37 years of machining experience. I started when I was 13.
Wow.
So yeah, do the math. So anyway, we've been cutting metal for a long time for a lot of very precision industries, and we decided to get into the firearms business. Our goal was to maintain that same level of quality. One of the phrases I like to tell people, if these parts went in an airplane, you could fly on it. They're really at that quality level. So we went in and started with the ARAK 21, then we eventually went to the complete rifle by making our own lowers. That qualified as firearms. Then we went into some other aspects. We made our own barrels from the beginning, and we learned quite a bit over a few years of production and trials and errors. And now we feel like we have a very, very strong, high-value oriented line of barrels for the AR-15, AR-10 market.
And this is ARAK 21, by the way.
This is the ARAK 21, yeah, that's what started off. And so the ARAK 21, there you go. These are some of our barrels. You'll see the gunner barrel here. With the respect to the profiles and the purposes of these barrels, we can really do a lot of different things. So from feedback from our customers and our own internal folks, they come up with some very creative solutions. You're holding the flame flute barrel in front of you.
Yeah. And
the flame flute barrel is just to give a different appearance, but it still gives you heat dissipation, weight reduction as a straight flute. It might technically be this or that, but ultimately, that's a very nice, high value, very, very good shooting barrel. And you'll see that it's very eye-catching. So what we're trying to do is get a good price for a good product, not high-end and overpriced.
And some of the guys might say, you know, hey, look at those crazy flutes, you're introducing stress into the barrel, but you guys have gone to great lengths to take care of all those issues.
Actually, it's probably just the opposite because everybody's very familiar with a linear straight fluting system. Well, a linear straight flute induces a whole lot more stress over that area in a cylinder pressure chamber than when you oscillate that. So what you never have is a linear, long, straight section of thin wall in the barrel. So no, I think actually what you're using is a little bit of weight reduction and possibly a little bit of heat transfer area, but you're actually having a stronger barrel than a straight flute.
Yep, and that's good looking. And see, guys, you can tell he's an engineer. Took him right to that level.
You know what? I love talking about the guns. I love saying why we did things because just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
I agree.
I mean, you can do a lot of things you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So one of the big things in the last several years for myself is to listen to people like you and all the viewers that actually give us feedback at shows, NRA, SHOT Show, etc. I literally have probably met thousands and thousands of people over the last 3 years, and it's a privilege and an honor, but what I like to do is hear what their opinions are. Because when they start telling me things that I didn't even know about, one of our catchphrases for our company is manufacturing strategic solutions for tactical problems. When we're sitting in a quiet room and we've got all the resources available, we should be considering the person who uses a firearm in that very split-second decision issue. Will it support him? Will it do what he needs done? And will it support his mission or needs? So when we look at that, we say, okay, we can do a lot of things, but what do they want? What do they want they don't have? How do you configure a rifle or a platform? We like to call the ARAK a system. You can, because of the forward spring system, you can put a folding stock, you can use it as a true pistol, you don't have the buffer tube. And like a Marine told me, he said, hey, we can use a bayonet again. And I said, what do you mean you've always hit him? He said, no, because if you damage the stock, the gun doesn't work. So we don't like using that. And I said, well, that's terrible because you can literally tear the stock off of this gun and continue shooting it. So we're looking at hardcore features, even though we like to make them pretty or we do things that we hope you like the way it looks. But the core of the gun, the design of it, and even when you look at this is actually the operating system. It's a long stroke gas piston system. It has multiple settings. These barrels are interchangeable in the uppers in less than 2 minutes in the field with one Allen wrench. We have 3 calibers we offer in the same guns, 5.56, 300 blackout, and 7.62 by 39. The other thing you'll notice, see the 3 grooves on the front of this barrel?
Yeah.
That indicates this barrel is a 300 blackout. Now you can read it right there very fine, but at midnight, You can't, but you can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it. So very tactile. One groove is the 7.62 by 39, and no grooves is the 5.56 because that's what people expect.
Now you have an adjustable gas regulator on this
Yes,
one?
it's 3 settings for gas and 1 without gas. You gotta just turn the gas off and use the forward charging handle as a charging mechanism. So for suppressors or purposes, people like, our goal is not to tell you how to use a gun, that's your business. Our challenge as a manufacturer is to give you more options than you had. That's the real goal.
With regards to the overall design, so we have a long stroke gas piston system, very reminiscent of the AK, right? So you have the benefits there, so that's where you're getting the AK part. Very simple back here, how the bolt and carrier come together. But the AR-15 part, well, we have a very AR-15 looking bolt, but quite different as well. I mean, we have 2 ejectors on it versus 1.
And it's interchangeable because it ejects at 3 o'clock. You'll see the new rifles that we're making have ambidextrous ejection ports.
Right, you see right through it.
And that means that not only can you see it for a press check or malfunctions or whatever you want to do with your drills, but it also allows you to take that bolt out in about a minute in the field with a field strip, and now you have a left-handed firearm.
Right.
So we no longer make a left-handed version. We went strictly with right-handed ambidextrous.
Very cool.
Because left-hand became somewhat unique. But we also maintain a right side port for those that are just true blue right-hand shooters.
Very cool. And now you've taken that a step further, and you've taken it up now to the ARAK 31.
Here's the big brother.
Right.
So yes, and this is some of the features that people have talked about. It does include the ambi, as you can see. It also has all the M-LOK features on the front forearm. Now, as you can see on our guns, this upper receiver is one solid block of aluminum. It's about 12 pounds of aluminum when we start machining. And then we whittle it down to this. This gun's about 8.5 pound firearm with an 18-inch medium weight barrel.
So it's all the same features of the 21, just rolled over into a 30 caliber rifle. Very cool.
You can kind of say there's a V6 and a V8, but they're real similar.
And before we can get completely rained out here, what's this?
Holding Precision. Last year, Holding joined our team at Faxon Firearms. We realized that, hey, this is a unique and different firearm, but
this is getting crazy. Keep going.
I don't care. Hey, they've got wet the other day. They got pretty wet. But this firearm here is a direct gas impingement. It's a typical AR-15 style firearm. It's a more high-end, hopefully. We're using carbon fiber forearms. We're using a tuned gas block. We're using a low-mass bolt carrier group. We're using 70-75 billet aluminum uppers and lowers.
Nice.
And we're using carbon fiber buttstock on this called the Wraith. We actually have 3 models for the Holding brand that'll be coming out. We've got the Wraith, the Banshee, and then we have a 3-gun.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, I tell you what, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit out here in the torrential downpour with me, explain your products. How can people find you? www.faxonfirearms.com. We're all over the website. Thank you, or the YouTube and the channel. So people like you, thank you. You can see a lot about our product. It'll mean a lot more than what I say here. Awesome. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to get out of the rain.